This is your host, Appo here. I hope you all are doing well. We're going to go ahead and start off with our 5-minute meditation. I am constantly surrounded by love. I will make it through anything that comes my way. I love myself as much as I love my family. I believe kindness is the key to finding happiness. Today is going to be amazing. I make friends easily. I am successful and powerful. My heart is pure. I trust that I can always find blessings in my day. My confidence is increasing. I've worked hard to become this person. I survive whatever life brings on. I am patient for my self-growth. I enjoy being in my solitude. I expect to succeed. I am comfortable around other people. I turn to my family and friends when I feel overwhelmed. My thoughts and feelings are never facts. I radiate calm, peace, and serenity. I am surrounded by a loving and supportive family. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I am feeling stronger than ever. I am breathing slowly and deeply, filling myself with calmness. I prioritize my mental health. I know that my challenges are impermanent. I overcome obsessive thoughts with rational logic. I release stress every time I exhale. I release emotions that are creating unhealthy habits. I can slow down my breathing. I can and will overcome this. My boundaries are set in stone. I manage my thoughts and emotions. I have come this far, and I am proud of myself. I am able to find happiness in the little things. I breathe deeply when I feel anxious. I focus on the best parts of my life. I focus my energy on my values. I see the world with beauty and color. I enjoy my feelings of inner calm. I accept myself and create peace in my mind and heart. My mind is clear. I will allow myself time daily to get away from stress. I forgive myself and allow myself to be free from hurt. I focus on my breathing. I nourish my mind with positive thoughts. And that'll do it for our 5-minute meditation. Let's go ahead and get into the episode topic. So this week's episode topic question is, what are some activities that I could do to take my mind off of my problems for a time? And there's so many things you can do. Part of this exercise requires you to, tap into like things that you love and what your hobbies are, what you do outside of what is required. So outside of your daily rules that you're required to do, what are things that bring you peace, bring you serenity, calm you down, just get your mind off of negative thoughts. What are those types of things? So this is an exercise for you to do within your own life and identify these things so that you're able to draw on them when you need. So one of the things that I do is I draw. So a lot of times if it's like something like is in the moment, then I'll do like random doodles or something. But if it's like something like I'm at home or in like a more stable setting, I'll like draw on my iPad or something. And it could just be like random shapes to make something like some abstract art or something like that. Or it could be something like an image that I'm trying to recreate or draw something based off of another image kind of thing. I also write, so it's usually either like poetry or some type of song. I don't really write books anymore or like short stories as much. But so those would probably be the main two, the poetry and the songs. And usually I just base those on whatever it is that I'm feeling at that given moment and just try to translate it to something that's, raw and relatable within those avenues. I used to sing, like pain away and stuff like that, or sing away troubles. And it was like just what I was feeling. The lyrics didn't really have to make sense in terms of like flowing together. It's something that sounded pretty and expressed what I was feeling at the time. Helped get those emotions out. Another thing that I do when I'm trying to get my mind off of stuff is I'll watch something. So that something could be it's usually I try to make it like completely on the opposite end of what I'm thinking about to just completely get off the topic. Sometimes I watch things that are related to get more perspective into like things that are more realistic. Because sometimes I tend to overthink. I know other people tend to overthink, so it's a very common thing that you can end up spiraling within yourself, and you're just like, what's going on? Why am I thinking like this, kind of thing. So I think it's really a good tool to like, watch something that will put you in an exact opposite headspace, or just put you in a whole different headspace altogether. So that could be something like a TV series, a documentary. I love documentaries, so that's really cool. That I like to learn. So when I go and watch something like a documentary, I get to put into perspective something that will take my mind off of whatever it is, but I'm also doing something that I already love to do, which is learn. So that's really cool. I also watch movies sometimes. So just go and like I'll browse on my streaming services like Hulu, or Netflix, or Disney Plus, and I'll just go and like get a movie randomly and then just go watch it. And sometimes I'll just, take a chill like morning or something, or chill like midday depending. But that's usually when it kind of hits like on the weekend, like early morning or like a midday when I'm like really really bored. I'll just go and I'll watch like a random movie and just like sometimes I'll go and like analyze. It's like, if it's something like I watched before, then I'll go and like analyze, how has my thoughts on this movie changed from when I initially watched it versus um, even like when the last time I watched it, kind of thing. So, Disney movies, for example, like I try to watch most Disney movies like every year, for the most part, or at least have some type of recollection of it every year. So, it's interesting to see how my ideals for certain things change over time and see how I grow in that sense. I also like to watch YouTube. There's a bunch of random stuff on YouTube, a bunch of things on there. Um, so it's something that you can be randomized or it can be suggested. But I like watching YouTube occasionally. Um, I usually use that, and I learn quite a bit of things, just how other people work, um, how other people think, funny things, just in general. I learn a lot about people and life by watching YouTube for the most part. I also really would like to read. You guys know that I'm a bookworm. I tend to read like webtoons or web novels or a book, and I'm religious, so I'll read the Bible as well sometimes. Um, Usually it's like more so like I'll read like scriptures that are like motivational or that help me through whatever I'm going through at the time to give me some type of boost of confidence, reassurance, and that really helps. Uh, if it's like a really bad thing, then I'll like go and I'll just like pray for a while uh, with scriptures and stuff. But overall, like I read quite a bit. Really like webtoons and web novels themselves. Really like the stories. I really appreciate like looking at the art that people put into creating these stories. Um, in general, I just really appreciate those. For books, more so nowadays, I'm using more self help books. So I can tend to like go towards those. Like it's something that like I'm dealing with. So if I'm dealing with like overthinking or like anxiety or like feeling depression type of things, uh, I may go and read a self help book on those types of things and see in what ways I can help my situation, how to ground myself better. Like I'm at the point where I can ground myself and I know how to alleviate most things in my life like that. But it always is helpful to get more information about how I can do it even better. And it really does help in the long run. So I also like to listen to music. And for music for me either goes like one or two ways. So I'll either listen to music to like feel more of the emotion that I'm currently experiencing. And that's so like I can feel it and I can get it out. If I want to cry about it, I can cry about it. Stuff like that. But if it's usually that route, I go and I feel and then let it out and then I'm okay. Or I do the opposite and I kind of just listen to something that's going to get me, you know, more pumped, more hyped up. Uh, this put me in a better, uh, motivated headspace. So more like upbeat music, catchy, uh, music that'll basically it's like what you would listen to when you go to like workout kind of thing. That type of motivational music. That's basically what I'll listen to get into that space of like let's not do that. And that gets into my next point where um I also do like meditation where I can just sit and sometimes I just sit and I think of my thoughts. And sometimes it's like when I'm overthinking, it's like, yeah, okay, you're feeling like it can go this, and this, right? But what realistically is probably going to happen? None of that, right? So why are you stressing about it? Why are you having fear of this kind of thing? Even if it is in this way that you think, what can you do about it? You know, if it's something that you can do about it, you'll probably do it, right? If it's not something you can do about it, then what's the use of worrying about it? So the main lesson for that is like, controlling what you can control, and the things that you can't, for me, it's like prepare in the best way you can to receive some type of shock in some type of form or fashion. And the shock could either be negative, as like, oh wow, it was something bad that I expected to happen, but you're prepared for that bad. Or you can be shocked in the sense of like, time passes and none of those things happen. It's like, oh wow, I freaked myself out over nothing. I prepared for the worst and like none of that even happened, kind of thing. And that's always a refreshing thing to happen. It's always a refreshing feeling to not have the worst thing happen. And it's also really nice because at least I feel like most of the time the worst thing doesn't happen. Like the absolute worst thing doesn't happen, but even if something bad does happen, it's like it could be worse, and because it's not worse than what has happened, it's like you're blessed, like it could have been worse. um Yoga, for me, for exercise, I like to do like stretching. I don't know, it just calms me, and I don't know, I feel more in like tune with nature, in the sense of like I feel like grounded but free and flowing at the same time with yoga. So that's my form of exercise. I was gonna mention as I was trying to link earlier. With exercise, you know how you get music that hypes you up. Uh, Sometimes you use it to go and motivate you to go and exercise. Run the treadmill, do cardio, um, do anything like that. And what this basically does for me is like when I play like hype music and stuff like that, it literally goes and like physically like shakes off the bad thoughts of my mind. So it's like there's no room for it here. You know we're excited. We don't know what we're excited for, other than this is the time to be excited, and we're not gonna be dealing with whatever negative that's gonna be you know dragging down the mood. It's just there's no room for it here anymore. So I think that's always a really nice tool that you can use. Another thing I like to do sometimes is, I like to do like small social things. So like I'll go and if I'm feeling down and my friend's feeling down kind of thing, or like my friends are feeling down, I'll go and like I'll eat with like a group of friends. So like we'll just have like lunch or we'll have dinner and we can just talk about any and everything. Or we could talk about nothing at all and just, enjoy food. And I think that's a really cool aspect of, you know, just being in general, having the ability to do that, have access to those types of uh, venues and stuff to be able to do things like that, because it's really nice to, I like to experience eating like good food, and I'm pretty picky with my food, so like I don't eat or experiment as much with what I eat, but it's always nice to try different places and try, like my staple things, aka chicken nuggets and fries, see how different places do them. And it's like, it's hard to mess up, chicken tenders or chicken strips or chicken nuggets and fries. So, it's a safe food, but I get to see how it varies across like different restaurants. And even if I don't eat that, um I'll get something more safe because also don't know how they prepare it. um I'm allergic to pork, and I don't know if they like cross contaminate with like the gloves or anything. They cut the same, use the same knife to cut the pork as they did like the beef or the chicken, and I'd rather not have to deal with that. So I'm just in general, I'm a lot more cautious about what I eat in that way, shape, or form, and that's why I'm a little bit more picky. at least in those types of settings. So overall, uh, these are different ways that are essentially ways for you to cope, right? So I received like a page from my school, and it was from a workshop that we went to when I went and I talked to them about mental health awareness and wealth, mental health. I said mental health and wellness already. I was trying to say something else, but I don't even remember what it was. I'm so sorry. Um, but basically, they lay out like a coping skills plan. So I'll just like go through it so you guys have availability and access to like these types of, you know, methods as well. Because what I talked about is essentially their coping mechanism, what you use to get through your pain, your suffering, your indifference, your stress. Those are all ways to cope with something, right? So what they have listed as number one here is, you know, warning signs. So what are some thoughts, images, uh, what changes in mood, what type of situation or behavior um, do you see that helps notify you that a crisis might be developing. So you might notice, hey, you know, I'm a really apathetic mood. I already know I'm about to be like not caring about the world or anything. Or, you know, I'm feeling really sad. I know that I'm not going to be like, you know, the best person to be around for the next like couple of hours because I'm going to be a Debbie Downer, you know? It's like stuff like that. What are warning signs that you know about yourself? So this requires, you know, you to do self reflection and analyze the things that, you know, are part of you and figure out what are the warning signs that you know when something's going to go wrong and that other people might know that something's going wrong. And then, as I talked about earlier, what are the coping strategies you use? So I draw, I write, I watch something, I read, I listen to music, I meditate and do yoga, and then I eat food with friends. Those are like my mains for coping. So the next part of it is distractions. So activities that take your mind off the negative and difficult experiences, emotions, and thoughts. So that's very similar. Uh, how I said to find something that puts you in a completely opposite headspace or just in a different headspace in general, away from your negative thoughts. 4 was self-soothing. So activities that provide you some type of comfort. So what are things that help you to feel like warmth from within? Like what are the things that you do that make you feel warm from within, and then like when you do them it's like giving a hug to yourself. Like you know that you've done self-care and it feels that way, you know? 5 is cognitive challenging. So activities that help you identify and push back against negative thoughts. So as I said before, like reflection helps with this. For me, like the writing and the poetry and songs, I put myself more into my emotion because I allow myself to feel whatever it is and put it onto the page in like an artistic form. The same thing I do with like music. I either, you know, let myself feel whatever it is, or I just completely shut that down and shake off the emotion of it. As well as with meditation. So like I'll think about, why am I thinking like this? What is the logic behind this? Is it logical or is it irrational? Why am I spiraling? Why am I overthinking about something? And what are the realistics behind what I'm actually stressed about or fearful about? The next part says social support. So activities that encourage connections with your community, family, and or social networks. So like for example, what I said was that I like to eat food with my friends, you know. Um, I just think it's a really nice social thing to do. Um, you're taking your mind off anything serious, and like when you go and you eat food, you're there to enjoy the food and enjoy the company with your friend or friends, kind of thing, right? So it's not something that you have to go and like be stressed to say something in specific about what you're talking about. You can just go there and just talk about anything, as long as it can be you talking about your problems, and that may help, and that's great. And it could also be, you just talking about anything else, and that may also help because get your mind out of the space that uh you're in. It. You want to just not talk about it, or you just want to be alone with it. And sometimes it's just like you don't really want to be alone. You want to be felt. Uh, you want to feel like someone understands where you're coming from, and understands your feelings, and in a way validates what you're feeling. That you're not crazy, or you're not you're valid for feeling what you're feeling. Like it's not completely irrational what you're feeling. Like there's a reason for it, and it's like I understand why you're feeling this, but here's why you should probably not feel it in this way because it's not being taken like this. Maybe you're looking at it in a different light. Maybe you're being sensitive to this because of this, and this is why you should probably think of it more so in this, or maybe take it from a different uh, perspective. And if you're feeling it this way, maybe look at it on the opposite way and see how, you know, something that was said or done may affect the other person, kind of thing. It could be anything like that. But I think it's really important to, have a social network, have some type of connection with somebody, or, a group of people to, it's vent, but also, vent and problem solve if that is what you need, or, just help you work through like your emotions and stuff. The next aspect is grounding. So that's activities that help you focus on the present moment. So those are things that, help you be in the here and in the now. So for me, that would be like the writing and the poetry, because I'm there and I'm feeling my emotions. I'm putting it in an artistic form, and it's not something that someone ever has to see. It can be literally trashed the next minute after I'm finished, or it could be something that I can build on. Be like, okay, well, why do I feel like this? This is probably a feeling a lot of people feel as well. So it's it's valid in that way. Or maybe you're thinking too hard or too negative about this because it's not really ever gonna turn out to be that way. And I mentioned as well with meditation, I do the same thing, grounding myself with that. Um, Emotional awareness, activities that provide an outlet for your feelings. As I said, writing with poetry and songs is like the main thing because you get to feel um, and put it into like you can try to put it into words artistically in that sense. In some ways, I would say listening to music is because you can cultivate like a playlist that helps you mimic the feelings that you're feeling, and sometimes that helps you get the emotion out through like crying and stuff. Helps you get the emotion out, and then it allows it to pass. And then lastly is crisis planning. So this is like the end all be all of the coping skills. So this is for the moments where coping skills aren't enough. So what happens when you're doing all these things and they're not enough? And for me, if it gets like really really bad, I turn to God. I pray, um, and I just read scriptures and try to calm, because it's like for me, I'm just like, okay, some aspect is working against me. It's trying to keep me thinking negatively. If it gets to the point where like I see my friends are trying to help or talk to me and be there for me, and it's like you're trying to be like cold towards them. It's like, why are you doing that? They're trying to help you. Stop that right now. Don't do that. They're trying to help you. They care about you. And like instead of like it being like you know, oh, they don't care about you, they don't care what you think, they don't care what you have to say, they're gonna be gone and they're here 1 minute, they'll be gone the next minute kind of thing. It's a lot of negative stuff that can happen that you can think, but it's just like when you have people in your life that actually do care about you, and there are people usually in your life that care in some way, shape, or form. It's very important to be able to recognize when those types of things are happening, so that hey, I know you said you're losing hope. It's like I know in your mind you're saying you're losing hope, but these are people that are showing you their hope, so they're kind of in different ways. Does that make sense? And yeah, so that's all I have for today. We're gonna end off with 3 good things. Had a good lunch, or good dinner, I should say. I'm feeling pretty good. I have a test today. So wish me luck on that. I feel pretty good about it. I feel pretty good about how I'm going through like my education right now. I feel pretty good about how I'm the English is hard. Okay, how I'm going through like and approaching like my studying habits and like my overall success. I feel like I'm going to be successful because I'm determined, and I really want this for myself. So that's nice. And what else is a good thing? I don't know. It's just, I got some really comfy sweaters from my school because I bought them. But they're really cozy and they're really cute, and yeah, I think that's it. But yeah, I'd like to thank you guys so much for listening and tuning in. As always, rate this if you're on Apple Podcasts, please. I appreciate that. Be very honest. But rate it 5 stars if you do feel like I deserve that. If you have questions, comments, concerns, or ideas to share, you can always hit me up on social media at an apple a day is my podcast Twitter, and it's also the same on Instagram. And I haven't been updating my website, but I'm gonna try and get that updated. I'm almost to 50 subs, so please subscribe and share if you do enjoy my podcast. I really greatly appreciate it. Because that's like that's my first milestone. I just want to touch as many lives as I can. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening in. And I hope you guys have a blessed day, a great day, and a great rest of your week. Until next week, this has been April. Bye.